Hello everyone and welcome to the biology lecture series, and today we'll be solving some of the practice problems from the topic excretion. So here we'll be talking about the objective type questions from the topic excretion, which is from the class 10th science book. So first we'll be dealing with the multiple choice questions. So let's discuss the first question. Now first question is, which of the following parts of the kidney contains the lowest concentration of the urea? Okay, so urea, it is a kind of the nitrogenous waste product. Okay, so it is a nitrogenous waste product, and these products are formed by the metabolic processes that are going on inside the living organism. So let's have a look at the options. First option is the loop of Henle. Second option is the branches of the renal vein. Option C is the Bowman's capsule. Option D is the glomerulus. Now, which part of the kidney? So, means they are talking about the nephrons. So, these are the parts of the nephrons here. Okay, so to answer this question, you should know about the structure of the nephrons and what are the functions of the nephrons and in which part what is happening, whether the reabsorption is happening, whether the absorption is happening, and filtration is happening where, okay, which arteriole is carrying the impure blood, which is carrying the pure blood. All right, so nephrons we have already discussed. What are the parts of the nephron? Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule is a cup-shaped structure which consists of the glomerulus. Okay, so glomerulus is present within the Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule, this is the cup-shaped structure. Okay, and within this a network of capillaries is present, which is known as the glomerulus. And here you have the afferent arteriole, and then the blood is filtered in the glomerulus, and then you have the efferent arteriole. Okay, so here impure blood will come, here pure blood will come. This is the afferent arteriole, and the other one is the efferent. This is the efferent arteriole. Okay, then you have the proximal convoluted tubule. So this one is the proximal convoluted tubule. Then you have the loops of Henle. Okay, and then later on loop of Henle is connected to the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so it goes like this. Then you have the loop of Henle. So it is U-shaped here. Okay. Then loop of Henle finally formed. So this is the distal convoluted tubule here, and then you have the collecting duct in the end. So this is a very rough diagram that I am drawing. This is the collecting duct in the end. Okay, this is the Henle's loop. This one is the distal convoluted tubule, and in the end you have this collecting duct. All right, so these are the options. What should be the answer here? Answer is option number B, branches of the renal vein. This will carry the least urea. Now what is the explanation to this answer? Okay, now the renal artery, it enters the Bowman's capsule. We have already seen in the previous lecture, renal arteries, it branches into the renal arteriole, and one of the branch of the renal arteriole forms the afferent arteriole, and afferent arterioles enters into the Bowman's capsule. Okay, now after the afferent arteriole enters the Bowman's capsule, it gives rise to a cluster of the capillaries, which is known as the glomerulus. Okay, so these cluster of capillaries, this is known as glomerulus. Okay, this cluster of capillaries is crucial for the ultrafiltration. and the filtration is because of the pressure, the blood pressure which is present in the afferent arteriole, which is the, you can say, part of the renal artery only. Renal artery, it carries the oxygenated blood from the heart towards the kidney. Renal artery, if we talk about renal artery, it carries the oxygenated blood from the heart to the kidney. Alright, now it transports blood to the kidney, okay, from the heart. Conversely, the renal vein, if we talk about the renal vein, it carries blood away from the kidney towards the heart, okay, and with significantly reduced concentration of the urea and the mineral ions. Okay, so the renal artery enters the Bowman's capsule, then it forms the cluster of the capillaries known as glomerulus, where filtration takes place, and the renal vein, it exits the kidney and it goes towards the heart, and here the concentration of the urea and the mineral ion is significantly reduced. So that's why answer is branches of the renal vein. Okay, now explanation for the incorrect option. So option A was not correct, okay, because it helps in the filtration of the blood, glomerulus. Option B, the principal purpose of the Henle's loop. What is the principal purpose of the Henle's loop? Okay, and the ascending limb. So ascending limb is the ascending loop of Henle only. Alright, and we have the ascending limb of the distal tubule also. So Henle's loop and distal tubule, what are the function? It is to concentrate the urine by a concept known as the counter current multiplication. Okay. Now option number C, Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule is a sheath-shaped structure that surrounds the glomerulus loops and aids in the filtering of the blood from the capillaries. Alright, this is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. The uriniferous tubule of a kidney are concerned with the formation of what? Options are glucose, amino acid, hormones, or urine. Okay. Now, what is the answer here? Option number D, urine. It is involved in the formation of the urine. And in the previous lecture, we have discussed about the formation of the urine, how urine is formed. Okay, when we were talking about the functions of the nephron. Alright, so afferent arteriole, it carries the blood. Then the filtration is done with the help of the pressure. Okay, so pressure is very important for the filtration. Then the filtrate, known as the glomerular filtrate, it enters the Bowman's capsule, and from the Bowman's capsule, it enters the proximal convoluted tubule. Alright, then it enters the loop of Henle, and then finally, then it will enter into the distal convoluted tubule, and from that, it will enter the collecting tubule, and then finally the collecting duct. Okay, so urine is finally collected in the collecting duct. And meanwhile, this process is going on. There is reabsorption of water, reabsorption of the vitamins, minerals, and salts, as well as glucose. And there is secretion also, secretion of some salts as well as some toxic materials from the blood into the nephron. Now, what is the explanation here? Now, in humans, the kidney serves as the primary excretory organ. The nephron, okay, they are also known as the uriniferous tubule. These represent the structural and the functional unit of the kidney. So, nephrons are known as the structural and the functional unit of the kidney. Now, on average, the body eliminates about 25 to 30 grams of urea daily through urine. Okay, so consequently, the uriniferous tubule primarily focus on extracting urea from the blood. Okay, and this urea is then extracted, or you can say discharged out of the body through the urine. Okay, this is clear. Now let's talk about the next question. Excretion. What is excretion? So excretion is the removal of, these are the options, carbon dioxide, harmful and useless ingredients, extra water, or metabolic waste. So here you can see excretion of carbon dioxide is done with the help of the lungs. Okay, so when we exhale out, we release the carbon dioxide into the environment, and this respiration is produced by the process of the respiration. So during respiration, what happens? The respiratory substrate, they get oxidized, and then they release energy, and in this process carbon dioxide is also released. Other options are harmful and useful, useless ingredients, extra water. So extra water is also eliminated. Okay, harmful and useful ingredients are also eliminated. Metabolic waste. Metabolic waste are those waste that are produced during the metabolic reactions, or you can say that are produced during the biochemical processes or biochemical reactions. Alright, so all the nitrogenous waste like urea, uric acid, ammonia, they are the metabolic waste. So what should be the answer here? Option number D, metabolic waste. Alright, what is the explanation here? Now the excretion, it involves eliminating the metabolic waste products from the body. The major excretory substances, these include carbon dioxide, urea, ammonia, uric acid, and some guanine also. Carbon dioxide, I've already told you, is released by the process known as it is produced during the respiration, and it is when we exhale out, we release the carbon dioxide. Now accumulating these waste products within the body can be toxic to the cells and impede the metabolic functions. In humans, the kidney serve as the primary excretory organ, while other organs involved in the excretion are lungs, skin, and some other organs. So kidney is the main excretory organ, whereas there are some other organs also that are involved in excretion, and these organs are lungs and the skin. So lungs, I've already told you, it helps in the removal of the carbon dioxide, whereas skin helps in the removal of some traces of, you can say, uric acid and urea by the production of the sweat. So in skin, sweat glands are present, and these sweat glands, they release the sweat which contains some traces of the urea as well as the uric acid. So they are also a type of the excretory organ. Now coming to the next question, the main function of the kidney is, what is the main function here? Option A, passive absorption. Option D, ultrafiltration. Option C is selective reabsorption, and option C is both B and C. So we have already discussed when we were studying about the function of the nephron. What happens? Nephron, or you can say the kidney, they are involved in the filtration of what? Filtration of the blood. Okay, and this filtration takes place where? This takes place in the Bowman's capsule, or you can say this takes place in the glomerulus. And what was glomerulus? Glomerulus was the network of the capillaries, and here filtration is done because of a pressure. So pressure is very much required, blood pressure is required for this filtration to take place. And what happens? There is reabsorption also. Okay, so there is no passive absorption, there is selective reabsorption of, you can say, some molecules such as glucose. Okay, water is also absorbed. Okay, and some salts and all, they are also reabsorbed. Vitamins also, they are also reabsorbed. So there is selective reabsorption. All right, so what should be the answer here? Option number D, both B and C are the correct answer. Now what is the explanation here? So let's have a look at the functions of the kidney. What is the primary function? Primary function is the filtering out of the blood to produce the urine. Now next function is excretion. Excretion is the removing the metabolic waste such as the urea and the uric acid. Now another function of kidney is the maintaining the acid-base balance. Okay, or you can say acid-base balance regulation. Now maintaining the body pH by reabsorbing the bicarbonate from the urine and excreting hydrogen and acid ions into the urine. So this is how acid-base balance regulation is done with the help of the kidneys. And water and salt balance is also maintained by the kidneys. So what are the functions here? Filtration and then reabsorption also. That's why B and C are the correct options. Now moving on to the next question. Ammonia. So ammonia is converted into urea. Where? So what is the site of the conversion of ammonia into urea? Let's have a look at the options. Option A is kidney. Option B is spleen. Option D is liver. Option C is liver, and option D is nephron. Okay, so kidney, you know, it is the main excretory organ present in the human. All right, but here ammonia is not converted into urea. Spleen, what happens? All the RBCs die here. Okay, so RBCs has a lifespan of 120 days. Okay, and the RBCs, they go to the spleen and then they die. Next is liver. So in liver, this conversion can take place. And nephron. So nephron, the function of the nephron we have already discussed. All right, and there is no conversion of ammonia into urea in the nephrons. So nephrons, they are involved in the filtration of the blood. They are also involved in the reabsorption of the selective molecules. All right, and they are also involved in the excretion of certain salts and molecules, and then which forms the urine. So what should be the answer here? Option C is the correct answer here, liver. So in liver, ammonia is converted into urea. Now what is the explanation? The liver transforms ammonia into a non-toxic compound called the urea. Okay, so if the liver is damaged, then what will happen? This ammonia will accumulate in the body. All right, so so the liver transformed ammonia into a non-toxic compound known as the urea. So if the ammonia accumulates in the body, then it can be toxic to the living organism. It can also cause the encephalopathy. Okay, so ammonia is that toxic. Now liver converts ammonia into urea. Now urea is subsequently transported safely by the bloodstream to the kidneys. Okay, and the kidneys then remove the urea from the body through urine. So kidney is involved in the urine formation, and the urea is further removed from the body through urine. All right, so this was the correct answer here, liver. The next question is, what are the function of the loop of the Henle? So loop of Henle, this is a part of what? This is a part of the nephrons which are present in the kidney. Okay, so parts of the nephrons were Bowman's capsule, then proximal convoluted tubule, then proximal convoluted tubule leads into loop of Henle, and then loop of Henle merges into the or leads into the distal convoluted tubule, and distal convoluted tubule then finally drains all the contents into the collecting duct. Okay, now first option, conservation of the water. Second option is the formation of the urine. Then third option is the filtration of the blood, and fourth option is the passage of urine. So correct answer is option number A, conservation of the water. So it helps in the reabsorption of the water. Now what is the explanation here? The primary function is to reabsorb the water as well as the sodium chloride from the filtrate. So this reabsorption is very much important here. Now this aids in water conservation. So loop of Henle, they are involved in the water conservation. So this water conservation is very necessary for the organism and producing highly concentrated urine. Now the water absorption within the descending limb, okay, contributes to an escalating osmotic gradient within the tubule, and this process is known as the counter current multiple system. All right, this is clear. So option number A is the correct answer here. Now next question is, urea is transported through, okay, options are RBCs, WBCs, plasma, or option D is all of the above. Now correct answer is here option number C, plasma. Now let's have a look at the explanation here. Now the urea formed from the surplus amino acid. The urea is formed from the surplus amino acid, means the excess amino acid. So this urea is carried into the blood plasma by the liver and is subsequently eliminated by the kidneys. So kidney forms the urine, and this urea is eliminated out of the body in the, or you can say through urine. Now this elimination process is known as the excretion. So what does excretion means? It means the elimination of the waste product that are produced during the metabolic reactions. Okay, so here the correct answer is plasma. The next question is, what are the major functions of the contractile vacuole? Okay, so contractile vacuole, we have seen it is present in the amoeba. Okay, and with the help of the contractile vacuole, what is done? Osmoregulation can be done. Osmoregulation can be done, homeostasis can be maintained, and water balance can also be maintained with the help of the contractile vacuole. Now, first option is excretion, second is circulation, third option is osmoregulation, and fourth option is all of the above. Now the correct answer is osmoregulation. Option number C is the correct answer here. Now let's have a look at the explanation. Now the contractile vacuole, it functions precisely as its name implies, by expanding and by contracting. So it can expand or it can contract also. So what happens in the amoeba? So this is an amoeba. Here it has the nucleus here. Okay. Then here you can see there is a contractile vacuole. So this is the contractile vacuole. So this contractile vacuole is different from the food vacuole. So in the food vacuole, food is stored and that is later on digested by the enzymes, okay, that enter from the cytoplasm. Okay, this is the nucleus. So amoeba is a single cell organism, it is unicellular. So this contractile vacuole, what is the function here? It helps in the osmoregulation. So water enters here. So excessive water will enter into this contractile vacuole and then it will expand. So it can expand. And then what happens? When it is in the expanded form, then it will move towards the cell membrane. Okay. So this is the amoeba again. This is the nucleus. And we have the contractile vacuole. This contractile vacuole will move towards the cell membrane. Okay, this is the contractile vacuole. This is the nucleus. This vacuole will then merge with the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Okay, and then it will discharge its contents. It will release the excess water into the environment. Okay, this is the contractile vacuole filled with the water. Here the water is entering into the contractile vacuole, then it will merge with the cell membrane and it will burst. So what is the purpose of the contractile vacuole? Its purpose is to regulate the osmotic pressure through a process known as osmoregulation, facilitating the expulsion of the water from the cells. Okay, so it can store the excess water and then later on it can release the excess water by merging with the cell membrane. Okay, the next question is, which one is the accessory excretory organ? Option number 1 is liver, option number B is stomach, option number C is intestine, and option number D is heart. So we can directly eliminate heart. Heart is not an excretory organ. Liver, okay, we have already discussed liver is an excretory organ. Stomach is not an excretory organ, it is a digestive organ. It is a part of the alimentary canal and it is involved in the digestion. So in stomach, what happens? Gastric juice are released and that contains the enzymes, and protein digestion takes place in the stomach and some fat digestion also takes place. Intestine, it is also involved in the digestion. So the final digestion takes place in the intestine and it is also involved in the reabsorption. or you can say absorption, the absorption of the nutrients. Okay, this is clear. So what should be the answer here? Liver. Liver is the accessory excretory organ. So we have already discussed ammonia is converted into urea in the liver, and then urea is eliminated out of the body through urine. Now what is the explanation here? The liver plays a crucial role in breaking down and detoxifying the harmful chemicals as well as poisons. So these poisons are toxic. So these toxins, these poisons are released, okay, are broken down in the liver. Some steroids also, some medicines also, these are also metabolized in the liver. So you can say chemical, poisons, toxins, as well as some steroids. So basically steroids are metabolized in the liver. For example, ammonia. So ammonia, which is a toxic byproduct of the metabolism, this is converted into less harmful substance known as the urea, and this happens in the liver, and then urea can be eliminated out of the body through urine. Okay, so this was the end of this session. We'll talk about rest of the questions and rest of the topics in the next session. Thank you very much for listening.